What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the CFL podcast, where today we will be talking about the week 2 performances, the best week 2 performances of HBCU football. Now, this video was supposed to be made or uploaded about 2 days ago. However, work, it's always work. Not just be so tired when I get home. So I gotta drop it now because I got a little bit of free time before I have to go back in, and I want to get this out for y'all so it won't be too close to the week 3 matchups that's about to happen this week. So, without further ado, let's get into it. By the way, these are in no particular order. It's never going to be in any particular order. These are just guys who I noticed that really stood out this past week in week 2. And they deserve the credit. So, the first person, we got DuRan, the cornerback from South Carolina State University. It is no secret how high I am on DuRan and the South Carolina State Bulldogs in general. Now, we knew they took a money, the best quarterback in HBCU football. Had 3 picks against him in the spring. Now, you come to Clemson, you got 2 picks. I mean, this was such a great outing for him, being that scouts were most likely watching him at the Clemson game. So, just great job by DuRan. Next up, James Houston from Jackson State University. And there should be no surprise here, right? I mean, 10 tackles, 5 of them being for loss, 4.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. And keep in mind, those 4.5 sacks were for a total of negative 33 yards. He performed well in that Southern Heritage Classic. Y'all, what can be said about James Houston that hasn't been said already? Honestly, what can be said about him in this video that hasn't been said already? He is the anchor of that defense. He is showing that he's one of the best players on that defense, and he is a big reason why the defense was able to perform as well as they were. If you were watching the game on TV, if you wasn't in person, he jumped off your screen. He was just that dynamic. He was just that disruptive, and he just played like his hair was on fire. And that's what you love to see from a linebacker / defensive end, because he did have his hand in the dirt as well. 4.5 sacks. And I think, it's a half because he shared it. He shared one with Coinus Miller or Katron. It was Katron Evans. He shared one with Katron Evans. Otherwise, it would have been 5 sacks. So listen to me. James Houston is that guy. And, if nobody else is going to be on this list, you already know James Houston was going to be on this list. So, James Houston, man, great job to you, bro. You did tremendous in week 2. Next up, Wesley Wofolk. Wofolk. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Versus Tulane, man, even though they got absolutely smacked 69-20. Wesley has 6 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was one of the few bright spots for Morgan State University. He showed up. He got his production in. He even averaged 18.3 yards per catch. It really wasn't much more that he could do by himself. His other teammates really just didn't, show up. And unfortunately, the end result was 69-20. So, I mean, great job, Wesley. You performed really well versus a FBS opponent in Tulane. And, you deserve to be on this list, man. You definitely balled out. You had to get some recognition for him just in case nobody else did it. Now, next up, Shedeur Sanders. No surprise here, okay? In the Southern Heritage Classic, he was Offensive Player of the Week. And the reason being, y'all know the stat line by now, 30 for 40, 362 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Played absolutely sensational. In fact, he set a Southern Heritage Classic record in completions. And I think he came 3rd in yards. 3rd in yards, if I'm not mistaken. So listen, that was, I don't know if you want to call it a coming out party for Shedeur, but it definitely was something special to watch. He looked poised. He looked so impressive. He looked so calm, and he just took the role of the leader of the offense in only his 2nd career collegiate game. So, Shedeur, not even going to say much on that. Just know Shedeur balled out. Y'all have seen it by now. It's been posted so many times on Instagram and Facebook and everything like that. So Shedeur, great job, bro. Next up, Craig Nelson from Southern. The running back transfer from Indiana, Craig Nelson, had 8 carries for 134 yards, and he averaged 16.8 yards an attempt. He also had a touchdown to go with it, a long touchdown, might I add. Now, Craig Nelson, Although it was against Miles. Because it was against Miles, Division Two. I started not to do it, but your performance was exceptional nonetheless, and you definitely had to be put on this list because of that. There were a lot of money games this past week. So, you really had made an impact in that game to be, honored on this list. And a lot of guys wasn't. Like, I see a few guys, a few quarterbacks had 180 yards and 195 touchdowns. 195 yards, and it's just like I can't do it. I can't do it. Like 15 attempts for 195 yards. Nah, I can't rock with it. You gotta really do something. The stat line has to be there. You gotta really contribute. So some guys will be left off this list just for that reason, because I know somebody's gonna be in the comments. What about Trigger Man? Felix Harper. Like, nah, I'm sorry. Maybe next week. But yeah, man, Craig Nelson, absolutely great job versus it is Miles College. Let's keep that in mind. But you did a great job. And I just can't wait to see how you guys progress next week. I'm keeping a close eye on Southern because y'all know I don't like Southern anyway. Never did. But I'm keeping a close eye on them because I want to see how they progress, especially once they start getting into SWAC play and everything like that, because I want to see who the real Southern team is. So it's almost that time. And last but not least, Jerome Johnson from Bowie State University. Y'all, 27 of 35, 409 yards, and 3 touchdowns in a comeback win at home. Trust me, Jerome Johnson, you deserve to be on this list tenfold. Okay? Tenfold, you deserve to be on this list. I don't care what level y'all are on. Like, you absolutely balled out. And when watching some of the tape that I seen on Instagram, or the few tape that I was able to find on you, you were definitely doing your thing. And, sometimes guys from smaller schools don't really get the exposure that they should. And I felt like I had to put you on here. Now, let me say this. His teammate, wide receiver Darius Bowman, is on this list as well. I'm gonna go ahead. Matter of fact, it's not even last but not least. Darius Bowman is the last guy on this list. But the only reason why, I wasn't even gonna mention him was the simple fact that, I couldn't find any highlights of him. It was very scarce for Bowie State this past week. However, Darius Bowman had 8 catches for 175 yards. All right. He also had a rush for 6 yards. Both of these guys were CIAA Players of the Week. So y'all both deserve to be on this list. Like I said, man, this is the whole list in its entirety. And this is everyone on the list. I don't think I missed anybody, but if y'all think so, let me know down below. Because, it's always going to be a chance that I do. Did somebody get snubbed in your opinion? Did I overlook somebody? Let me know all that down below in the comments. Because, I can't watch every game, so I'm not sure, who did what. I have to research for some of these guys. But with that being said, y'all, thank you if you have made it to the end of the video. Like I said, this video would have been uploaded a little earlier, a couple of days earlier, had I not had to work. I still do. But I had to talk about, like I said, this is going to be a weekly thing. I'm going to do this weekly. All right, so I can't wait to see who's going to be on the list for week 3. Also, let me know down below who y'all think is going to be on the list in week 3 for the top performances of the week. Y'all, I'm just rambling at this point. Thank y'all if you made it to the end of the video. I really do appreciate y'all more than y'all know. Y'all are continuing to subscribe and share my videos and just rock out with my content, so you're always appreciated. With that being said, I go by the name of Kobe. You are watching the CFL podcast, and I'm out. Peace.